engineers bear a great responsibility for the performance of piping systems they design and specify. This NCP-WB presentation will provide valuable insights to the engineers regarding piping fabrication, installation, examination, and testing, so they can optimize their interface with contractors who install their systems and ensure their piping systems provide long, trouble-free service at the lowest possible long-term cost. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers, or the ASME, first published the B31 American Standard Code for pressure piping in 1935. Today, this code consists of several sections and is recognized as standard industry practice when it comes to piping. As such, it provides the engineer with both a technical and a legal foundation for the design and installation of piping systems. Accordingly, the first step in the design of piping system is to select the appropriate ASME B31 code section for the service conditions. B31.1 is for piping typically found in power generating plants and industrial facilities. B31.3 is for piping typically found in petroleum refineries, chemical and pharmaceutical facilities. B31.5 is for refrigeration piping, and B31.9 is for building services piping. B31.4 and B31.8 are for pipelines that transport liquid hydrocarbons and gases. These B31 code sections require the owner, usually with the assistance of his engineer, to select the appropriate code section. To aid the engineer in this, ASME has published a guide selecting applicable B31 code sections, which can be easily found on the web by searching on Selecting B31. Be sure the site you download from is cstools.asme.org, so you have the official copy. This guide contains detailed descriptions of each B31 code section, which the owner and engineer can use as an aid in selecting the section that most appropriately applies to the job. Once the appropriate B31 code section has been selected, the engineer should proceed to select the appropriate materials and determine the pipe sizes and schedules, lay out each system, and perform the required design and analysis calculations. The engineer's design specification should impose the same B31 code section that the contractor will use for the installation. Welding, brazing, heat treating, assembly of flanged and threaded connections, branch connection design, visual examination, non-destructive examination, and pressure testing are already appropriately specified when a B31 code section is imposed, so the engineer's specification does not need to address these subjects except for special situations. If the engineer wants to impose additional examinations, such as X-ray or ultrasonic examination beyond those required by code, the extent of such examinations, the method of examination to be used, and the acceptance criteria need to be spelled out in the engineer's specification and accepted by the contractor before starting the work. In addition, engineers should address testing, cleaning, flushing, and corrosion inhibitors until those systems are turned over to the owner. A model specification that can be used freely is posted at ncpwb.org. While the engineer is responsible for material selection and design, the contractor is responsible for installing the piping following the specified B31 code section and the engineer's drawings and specifications. This includes being sure that the materials that the engineer specified are the materials that are installed, that the welders and brazers who will do the work have been properly qualified, and that those individuals are following properly written and qualified procedures when welding and brazing piping. The contractor is also responsible for examining the installed piping to be sure that it meets the requirements of the selected B31 code section, the drawings, and the specification. Finally, the contractor is responsible for pressure testing of the piping system, ensuring that it is leak-free. To ensure the contractor has the required procedures in place for critical activities such as welding and brazing, the engineer should have the contractor submit the procedures they plan to use and personnel qualification records for review and approval before welding or brazing starts. Contractors who are members of the National Certified Pipe Welding Bureau, NCPWB, a subsidiary of the Mechanical Contractors Association of America, not only have welding procedures that are fully compliant with the B31 codes, but their welders and supervisors have been trained to follow those procedures. NCPWB has over 100 welding and brazing procedure specifications that can be used by all members. This has the benefit that regardless of which NCPWB contractor is awarded the work, the welders and brazers follow the same procedures that they followed on their previous job. The NCPWB is a technically competent organization as described in B31.1, B31.3, B31.5, and B31.9. As a result of the partnership of NCPWB with the United Association, welders go through a 5-year apprentice training program where they not only learn to weld and braze, but they also learn to cut, fit, and install piping safely and efficiently in accordance with the B31 codes and the engineer's drawings and specifications. Under the provisions of the B31 codes, NCPWB contractors can tap a pool of thousands of pre-qualified welders and brazers across the U.S. and Canada who can go to work without taking the time to retest, saving the owner money and keeping the job on schedule. In addition, the United Association works with contractors and owners to upgrade welder skills when new materials or special circumstances arise. NCPWB contractors themselves are given training on technical aspects of welding piping using the latest technology at the annual NCPWB Technical Committee meeting, at the MCAA convention, and at meetings of local NCPWB chapters. Finally, individual NCPWB contractors are active members of the ASME B31 Piping Code Committees. That allows our members to be aware of pending changes to the B31 codes well in advance of those changes being published. This directly benefits engineers and owners since it promotes the latest technical requirements in construction of your piping systems. Having NCPWB contractors performing on your projects ensures that the work will be installed in accordance with the selected B31 code section as well as the engineer's specifications and drawings. Local NCPWB contractors can be found by visiting ncpwb.org. Please contact us for more information.